healing look. This is a sweet story. Mother says, I had a very sweet little cat, absolutely civilized, a marvelous cat. It was born in the house and it had the habit all cats have, that is to say, if something moved, it played with that. Just then there was in the house a huge scorpion. As was its habit, the cat started playing with the scorpion and the scorpion stung it. And it was an exceptional cat. It came to me. It was almost dying, but it showed me its paw where it was bitten. It was already swollen and in a terrible state. I took my little cat, it was really sweet, and put it on a table and called Sri Aurobindo. I told him, Kiki. Kiki was one of Mother's favorite kittens. There's a book, Stories of Kiki the cat. Kiki has been stung by a scorpion. It must be cured. The cat stretched its neck and looked at Sri Aurobindo, its eyes already a little glassy. Sri Aurobindo sat before it and looked at it also. Then we saw this little cat gradually beginning to recover, to come around. And an hour later, it jumped to its feet and went away completely healed. So, Sri Aurobindo healed in so many different ways. I don't know if you've read this delightful book, The Light That Descended into the Dark Abyss. Have any of you read it? Unfortunately, it's out of print, but it's one of those jewels which should keep circulating in the world. So, it's written by an Aurovilian called Maggie Litchi Gassi. It's the story of this person who was in the concentration camp. You know that Hitler and Sri Aurobindo were at the same time. So there was this person in a concentration camp where conditions were so terrible that this person wanted to commit suicide, but they were so watched over that even committing suicide was difficult. And just then he started seeing an old man and he couldn't catch his name. So he kept calling him Great Sir because he had a beard, he had a dhoti. And this Great Sir kept guiding him, inspiring him, and somehow helped him to escape the concentration camp, which is something extremely difficult to do. And he guided him to join the Allies again and fight with the Allies. And throughout the battle, this Great Sir would guide him how to fight, what to do, and he became a great soldier. He was awarded a medal and he felt very guilty. So next time he met Great Sir in his inner vision, he said, Great Sir, I don't deserve these accolades. They belong to you because I just did what you told me. So what should I tell them? Because I don't even know what to tell people. So the Great Sir said that tell them nothing. I have no need for any accolades. And then this person he still didn't know who this Great Sir was. And this was at a time when, of course, Sri Aurobindo was in his body because the war happened at that time. 1950 is when Sri Aurobindo left his body. And years after this, when this person was reading in a library, he came across a picture of Sri Aurobindo. And then he realized, this is my Great Sir, and he has an ashram in Pondicherry. So he made his way to Pondicherry and he met the author of this book, Maggie Litchi Gassi, who was in Auroville, and he recounted his whole experience to her, and that became this book, The Light That Descended into the Dark Abyss. So it's important to note that Sri Aurobindo was in his physical body, but in his subtle form he was working all over the world and helping people who had the receptivity and guiding them.